Hey y'all, I wanted to do a sketchbook tour with you guys. This sketchbook, I did a short on this sketchbook a little while ago, but I really wanted to elaborate some more and show you a little more in depth this sketchbook because I am enjoying it so much. If you are a person that loves to do repeat pattern and or just even like times where you just kind of need to do something mindless, like mindless mark making, this is a fabulous go-to sketchbook for that. So what it is, it's called Grids and Guides, and I purchased this at the Philadelphia Art Museum when we were on a trip a couple years back. Actually, not a couple years back. 2023? I think I purchased it prior to 2023. I probably started it in 2023 because we did not go to Philly in 2023. Anywho, I digress. This book, what it is filled with is, let me get to a section where I can really show you what is in here. Okay, so first of all, the book is filled with different types of grid paper. It also has, this one in particular that I ended up buying, has little pages spread throughout of scientific information, which I just find intriguing and charming at the same time. There's a periodic table in here. There's a chart of the human body. It's very interesting. Geologic time scale, just fun. And I just think it's neat to come across those pages from time to time and, you know, just expand your range of knowledge. But you buy this book for the paper. So here is the different types. This is just dots. And every so often there's like a little plus sign to just really help, you know, if you're really trying to get into a good repeat pattern, these plus marks just really help out with that. Then there's circles. This whole page, y'all, you can do so many different designs by coloring in the different spaces within these circles. It's amazing. This is just, I would call this ledger paper. This is like old school ledger paper, basic grid. These are just freeform boxes. I'm not sure if this has a name or if it had, it almost reminds me, when I was in high school, I took drafting. This almost reminds me of drafting paper. My friend told me, her husband, an artist friend of mine, her husband is an engineer, and I was showing her this book and she said, oh my gosh, this is like all the different kinds of paper that her husband uses in his engineering practice. Here we've got the triangles. I know this has, I can't think of the actual name of this, but this one does have a particular name. And here's a chart. This one is 1 to 10, A through O. You could totally do some color charting out on this or chart whatever you want. Here's a different type of grid split into 4. I will show you how I've kind of had fun with this page in particular. And then we're back to the original. So it just repeats, you know, the patterns just repeat in the same sequence. So let's go back to, so here's one. Where is the other one that I did? I want to find that one. I have just been having a blast with this book. Where are you? Okay, I will come across it. It must be more towards the beginning, unless I'm dreaming. I know I'm not dreaming. I'll find it. This was the page that was all grids and then was definitively like blocked out in 4 different. So what I did, I just had fun with the same pattern, but changing up the colors in the different quadrants. That just was a fun thing to do. And even just brain wise, making the transition like the linear transition here works your brain. Like, this book is really just working my brain. I really enjoyed this here, so I ended up repeating that. Here's where I just kind of had some fun in the free form, playing with pattern. I really enjoyed this page. I really love, like, I later I ended up repeating this motif, and I would like to explore some of these ideas later in the book. This is me just having fun with, I was thinking of a parquet floor. If you're, you know, child of the 70s like me, you know what a parquet floor was. And we had in one of my childhood homes, we had a parquet floor. This is me just working out. This is the dotted page, just working out a pattern. This was the circle page. So you can see how, I mean, these are very different designs, but this worked on the same grid. Same here, you know, I'm just having fun. I'm playing with color, warms, cools, playing with color, playing with pattern. I love this page. I've been having quilts on my mind, like traditional fabric quilts. And so I was just playing with, you know, wild quilt, like dreaming out a quilt. This page was super interesting for me because I actually thought I was repeating a design. This was a regular, just tiny, the whole thing was filled with the tiny squares, just full on grid. And I got myself off kilter somehow, but then ended up creating this very interesting pattern that repeats, but not quite, because I sort of made a mistake, started in a place where I shouldn't have started. You know how that goes. And then I got myself off, but then I was like, no, I'm going to keep on track. And look what it did. I think this page is so interesting. It's just very interesting to look at. I think it would make a gorgeous textile. This would just be a beautiful piece of fabric. I will tell you, I do not care for these two pages much at all. They are my least favorite in the book. And that's okay. Guess what, y'all? You're gonna have pages in your sketchbooks that you don't like. It happens. It happens to all of us. I think I had an interesting idea started here. Maybe it's the color combinations I don't like. I'm not sure. When I think about if I did this again, what would I do? I would probably include some of this little interesting pattern that I did, which was an afterthought. I did these edges last. I would probably do that. And guess what? I have more of this paper. I can totally redo this design later on, choose different colors, and try it again. I don't know what happened here. We just won't even talk about that page because it really is not, I don't like it. So we're just gonna move on. Here's the one. This is the one I was looking for. Okay, so I really had fun with this. This was the grid page that was separated into 4 quadrants. So what I was playing with was just letting the one design bleed into the other one by subtly changing the colors. And it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Here I did have a little boo-boo somehow. I can't remember how. So I ended up with these really dark marks. But I repeated, they were repeated here. But I think these just kind of pop out at me. Overall, I really enjoyed making this page and having just thinking, going into it with, I'm just going to kind of let colors bleed bleed over and change them as I go along. And it was super fun. So look at this. Here's one of these science-y pages, DNA and gene expression. Just very interesting. Loving this. Here's another circle page. Here's another page that like the ledger paper. Another grid, me exploring quilts. Here's this, is this honeycomb, which is octagon, right? An octagon honeycomb, where I really wanted to play with, I don't know why I think of this as snowflakes, which is funny because it doesn't snow where I live, but to me, this is a snowflake. So, hey, we're going to call that a southern snowflake. How about that? That doesn't exist in the world. Because it doesn't, I can't say it never snows in the South. Like 3 years ago, I think we had some snow, like once in a really blue moon. We get flurries, y'all, flurries, literal flurries. And guess what? We all literally lose our minds because we don't know what to do with ourselves. It's very exciting, very exciting. So here we are just moving through, here is the beginning, and this is where I think, did I end here? Oh no, I still have more. So you can see I also kind of random, I work in order, but I will skip pages sometimes. I really love this. I think this is just beautiful. You just can't go wrong with like this is just a classic chevron, but it's the placement of the colors that just makes it exciting for me. And probably the simplicity of it. And I do believe that is my last design in this book so far. But let me show you the first one. So here was the design that I ended up liking on this first page and kind of wanted to try again. So this is me doing, playing with this design in a little bit of a different, changing up the colors a little bit. So now, let's talk about the markers that I have been using in this book. Y'all, this paper is absolutely fabulous. You can see it is thick. It's really heavy. I would call it heavy-duty drawing paper, but no tooth. It's pretty smooth. Like it's not, classic drawing paper kind of has like a little bit of a texture to it. This has texture, but not much. I would definitely consider this a fairly smooth paper. So here you can see the marker through, but it doesn't bleed through. I haven't had any of the markers bleed through. Now let me tell you what markers I am using. I'm using the Stabilo. I call this Stabilo, the Schwan Stabilo. Pen 68, which is the felt tip nib. I really enjoy these. They have a fine tip in the Stabilo pens, but I actually prefer the lay pen, which is by Marvy. So it seems a little finer to me than the Stabilos. Not that I don't like the Stabilos, I do, but I really like these lay pens. And the lay pens come in a myriad of shades, which I really enjoy. The other, so really the only place I've used the Stabilos is when I wanted something really like a fine line in here. For the most part, I have used the Stabilos, not so much the lay pens unless I want detail. And then I've been using these mild liners. These are by Zebra. I just this year really discovered these pens. Well, actually last year, a friend gifted me one for Christmas, and I fell in love with it. And then I ended up kind of beginning of this year, I think, purchased a pack of them with all the colors. What I really like about them, so this page is Stabilos, Stabilo, tomato, tomato. This page is all of the little colors, minus, remember my little Southern Snowflakes is a lay pen. The other shapes are colored in with the mild liners. And you can see how soft, they're very pastel-ish and kind of, I think of them like a highlighter. They kind of mark like a highlighter, but I really like that. This is a combination of the mild liners and the Stabilos, same over here. This is all mild liners. They just complement. This is mostly mild liners. See how they're just soft. This is kind of 80s. They remind me of like 80s markers. And you know, I'm a 70s, 80s kid, so I kind of dig that. So there you have it, y'all. I just wanted to share this book with you because I have been having so much fun. Oh, and I did this page in the back. This was done with some markers that are a little more on the alcohol side. So I would not recommend alcohol markers in this book. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend alcohol markers in any sketchbook because alcohol markers are just known to bleed through. So I would stick with water-based markers, pens. I think colored pencil would be wonderful in here. I have not done colored pencil in it yet, mainly because I just sort of determined that this was going to be, you know, markers and ink in this book. So that's why I wanted to test these markers out. These were some Faber-Castell. Where do I have them? Let me see if I can reach them. Because they're actually super cool. Ooh, where are you? Here we are. These things. What are these called? I don't know what they are. They kind of are like a highlighter, but they're glimmer. Super, super glimmer. What are they called? I can't find. Text liner. Faber-Castell text liner. They're metallics and they came in a bottom in a set. And I really, really like them. And I did use them in a sketchbook and they completely bled through to the other side, which I was okay with in that particular book. What I ended up doing was just making something, you know, making a different type of design on the other side of the page, which you could do. It didn't bleed through to the second page, which is a good thing, but it did bleed through to the other side of the page that got drawn on. So note to self, if you're going to test any pens or markers or materials in a book, use your back pages. That's what I do. I always save a page as my test page. As you can see, this is my test page. So so that's it. That's it. Little tour of this sketchbook. Look at this satellite remote sensing. This is just awesome. This was a drawing. This is from one of my other sketchbooks and I printed it out because it was something I wanted to explore. So I hope you enjoyed this little sketchbook tour. I hope it has inspired you, intrigued you. Bleh. We'll pretend like those pages don't exist, right? Here, I'm going to leave you on a happy note, a page spread that I really, really like. So y'all, just draw, get to drawing, you know, and let me just say, you don't have to have fancy books or special books to get creating. You can do all of these, you know, designs and be creative and make patterns and repeat patterns on anything. You could create your own gridded paper, you know, with a ruler and a pencil. But it is fun. This is just a fun book to have. And honestly, it wasn't expensive. There is a website. I will post the website to the grids and guides in the comments or the description, in the description of this video so that you can find it. You can go click on and see the books and the other stuff that the company makes, because I think they make a few other things. So thank you for taking this sketchbook tour with me. Happy creating, y'all.